Hey, what's up, guys? Daniel Hernandez over here. So I wanted to make a video to show you guys the difference of what tuning your Fox suspension on your Can-Am X3 really does. So I happen to have the opportunity to have two of them in my garage. So I did do my personal one, and my buddies, we still haven't done it yet. But I want to show you guys the difference of what it really looks like and how much ground clearance you actually gain, which to me it was significant. It was about almost 3 inches of ground clearance that I gained. So here is my buddy's Can-Am X3 Max. The only thing we've done to it so far is just the roof and the mirrors. The door inserts are coming in next. And this one is mine right here, which I already did the door inserts. I haven't done a roof yet. I did a light bar. I did the Super ATV 3-position windshield, which is pretty dope. I did the mirrors with the LED lights on them. I did also add a bump seat for my little girl, the 4-point harness from UTV Mountain. Alright, so as you can see, mine sits a lot higher than my buddies. So I'm going to take a tape measure right now and measure it for you guys so you guys can see the difference. Alright, so as you can see, he's almost right at 13 inches, which mine was a bit lower. It was like 12 and a half initially. Now let's check mine out. So mine's right at 14 inches in the front. In the rear is when I saw the biggest difference. So in the rear, I got it almost at 16 inches, which that's with the Fox specs, Fox Race Tune. It is like it's almost a little bit over 10 and a half in the rear. That's the stock. That's how it came out of the factory. And once I set mine up, yeah, I gained a significant amount of ground clearance in the rear. Yeah, so I'll show you guys. So this is what I used. I went on ridefox.com and I researched my specific shocks, which I have the QS3. And for Maverick X3 standard 64-inch, I did measure the installed spring length at 23 and on mine I actually did 23 3/4, but in the rear I did do 26 and a half. And it shows you on here how to measure it, your crossover and your installed spring length. And I'll show you real quick how to measure it. I'll lift one up real quick, and that way you guys can do it on your own without having to pay anyone. It is a pain in the butt sometimes to get it to tighten up, but the best way that I found is if you get a spring compressor from like O'Reilly's and rent it for like $30. You're able to compress the spring. That way you're able to turn these by hand. That way you're not fighting, because as you can see, there's hardly any clearance on there. You know, especially, I mean, up here is not too bad, but I did get tired. You know, I didn't have a spring compressor, so what I ended up using is a ratchet strap. Try to make sure you don't damage these threads. But yeah, you can see the difference from that to that. which is a significant difference. And it also helps a lot with your ground clearance. Alright, so once you have your wheel off the ground, which I put a block because my jack doesn't go high enough to get the wheels off the ground. You go ahead and you measure your spring length by to the bottom of here to the very top here. Let's see if I can get it. I'll show you guys. Alright, and there you go, and you measure up to the top of the spring. So this one's a little bit less than 25 inches, which the spec for this one says it needs to be, I believe, 23.5. Yeah, it's supposed to be at 23.25 for the front. So you got some compressing to do. That way it brings the overall height of the vehicle higher. And yeah, and you just follow the instructions for that. That's how you measure from the top of the spring to the very bottom of the spring. But there can't be any weight on there, so the wheel needs to be able to rotate freely. And that's how you measure your installed spring height. And now your crossover ring, it's going to be the top of this to the very bottom of this right here. And then once you have your installed spring height set, you adjust your crossover to the spec that it says. For this particular one, in the front, it says 4.5 inches. And that would bring your right height in the front to roughly about 14.5 inches. Now, I followed the specs, and I don't know why it says in the rear also 14.5 inches, but it's up to almost 16 inches. I have no idea how that happened, but I like it. I don't mind it at all. Haven't taken it out yet to see how it rides, but if I need to do any more adjusting or tuning to it, then I'll go ahead and do that. Alright guys, well I hope you guys enjoyed the video and helped a lot of you guys. I know there's not that much information on the base model. I know I haven't been able to find that much, so I decided, it would be a good idea to post it, and hope you guys enjoy your ride.